Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Reg.
I'm Rob.
And this is the show. It's been a while, man. Probably too long.
Yeah, busy stuff, but it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back. But so much has happened, and it's kind of weird because we text back and forth on some things. So feel like you covered it, but I think the last one was before November 12th. So
Yeah, right before the game. Yeah,
yeah,
that week.
yeah. So a month has gone by almost, and man, if you look back to where we were, Georgia for sure was going to be in the college football playoff, but where are they now?
Man, ooh-wee. So I get it, but it's crazy that like you went from 1-6 for losing the game by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of crazy, but I mean, what else were you going to do? Like, here's the thing, man. I don't, now all of a sudden you want to do eye test when, you basically every week you put out rankings, it was resume.
Yeah. Well, let's talk eye test real quick. So 4 teams based on eye test. Who are the 4 best teams?
Nobody's gonna like this.
Okay.
But it's gonna be like Washington,
mm-hmm.
Texas, Alabama, and Georgia.
Right. I agree. Those are probably the 4 best teams by the eye test.
And I loved the reaction Michigan had when they found out they had Alabama. That was great. It's just like, oh.
That was interesting because I know they were loving the opportunity to play Florida State with a backup quarterback that couldn't score.
I still think they would have lost that game though. Florida State defense is raw, dog. Their defense is rough. So it's like, no, you're not gonna just run the ball all day. That's not gonna work.
I agree, but I think Michigan's better than Florida and Louisville, and I think they would have. I think they would have beaten Florida State. It wouldn't have been a blowout, but I think they would have beaten them. But we'll never know. That's like that Astros thing when they said, "Hey, what would happen if we didn't win the West?" I guess we'll never know. Well, that's the same thing they're saying about the playoff. So, 4 best teams by resume. What would you have said?
So you'll have to go Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
You go by resume, you probably got the 4. But except Florida State, obviously.
I'm about to say 13-0 is a pretty darn good resume.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like, and I was on Twitter. I was like, so Jordan Travis, Heisman Trophy winner?
I saw that.
Yeah, it's like you made him out to be so important, and then he can't even get an invite. Like, it's like, so what are we talking about here? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, last I checked, there was 3 phases to the game. Yeah, you lost your starting quarterback. That hurts. That hurts everybody.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, it's not, they didn't lose.
They did not lose a game. And I understand it was the ACC. The ACC was not a super good conference this year. I mean, I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a Power 5.
You beat Florida.
You beat Florida, which, okay. You beat a team that's not going to a bowl.
Yeah.
5-7.
Alabama barely survived Auburn. Everybody seemed to forget that point.
Now, okay.
Like you need a miracle.
You know what I tweeted at you. Now Alabama, I don't care. Auburn could be 1-10. It does not matter. They gonna fight Bama. That's just the way that is. That's a backyard brawl. That's big brother, little brother.
Yeah, I get it.
Doesn't matter.
But you want to hold the eye test appearance against Florida State.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute, you just saw this was just 2 weeks ago. This wasn't like it was at the beginning of the season.
Well, if they wanted to hold up the South Florida game for Alabama, but the fact is they didn't play with their quarterback that they currently have.
No, they had.
I mean, as far as eye test, that was the worst Bama look was the South Florida.
But they had benched him.
They benched him right after the Texas game.
Yeah, it wasn't like he just missed the game. He was injured. Yeah. No, you put him on the bench. That's your fault.
Yeah. You know what I texted you on Saturday night before Florida State's game was over. I said they're gonna put Bama in over Florida State.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to happen. I feel awful for Florida State's kids because they had to think they were in.
Yeah, you done everything you're supposed to do. Yep. Everything that they say you're supposed to do, and then it's like we're just playing. How bad?
Yeah. I will say this: Danny Cannell, he's a good alum of his university, but I was reminded, and I wanted this to happen, so I'm glad it happened. Florida State went to Notre Dame, lost. And then Notre Dame lost a week later to Boston College. And then when they picked the two teams at the end, or they picked the national champion, they picked a one-loss Florida State over a one-loss Notre Dame that won head-to-head. So college football injustice is a way of life. It's just like when Ohio State got in, when TCU should have got in. And Ohio State got in, even though they lost to Penn State, and Penn State won the Big Ten. I mean,
dude, and another one, man. They're trying to say TCU last year,
right?
Because they act like TCU didn't win a game.
Exactly.
That blowout didn't happen in the semifinal. It happened in the final. Like, which means they beat somebody.
People forget last year, those were the two best semifinals we've ever had for as far as competitiveness and as far as both happening in the same year. Those are the two best semifinals we've ever had. And TCU got in. So I'm with you, man. It's like that was a head scratcher. Like, oh, they didn't want another TCU. That was a bogus argument.
Yeah, no, TCU won a game. Like, wait a minute.
Right. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think ESPN played a role in Alabama getting in. I don't think. I guess I want to be naive. I guess I want to hope. I don't think. But I think if you looked at the resumes, and it's just like they said, hey, Georgia was the best team. Well, to me, Georgia was the best team the whole year, right?
Yeah.
You're number one. You're the king till you get beat.
Yeah.
This team beats you.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they? What does that make them?
Well, not when you got a 10-point L at the crib. It don't make you the best team.
They're not. They're number 4, and they're behind the team that beat them by 10.
Yeah, like that had to happen. If you
had to happen.
There was no way you're leaving out Texas if you put Alabama in.
I guess my question becomes: had Georgia somehow won that game, was Texas going to get in ahead of Florida State? I mean, they put them at 3.
Yeah.
Was Texas getting in ahead of Florida State?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think my answer is no. Because I think you would have had what? You would have had 4 undefeated teams, right? Yeah, you would have 4 undefeated teams.
Yeah.
And I think that would have, this is going to sound weird. I think the committee would have felt easier putting 4 undefeated teams in and leaving Texas out than they felt, well, we got to put Texas in, but we got to get Bama in.
If we got a one-loss team, then these two have to be in.
Right. Because yeah, and that was the thing. I was like, well, I guess the Bama loss to Texas ended up being a wash. It's almost like they rewarded Bama and Texas for playing each other, and they didn't penalize the team that lost, which goes against everything that they've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Alabama, and Alabama's probably going to lose. So that's even the crazier part because I think
actually,
going to win it. So
yeah.
The real question is Texas going to beat Washington?
Yeah, I was like, dang, they got them down in New Orleans. That's gonna be Texas heavy.
Yeah.
But I mean, Penix just makes it happen, man.
He does.
He makes it happen, man. So I'm interested to see. That one should be good. That one should be good.
I think Washington beating Oregon twice was pretty impressive. I think their Pac-12 championship win was even more impressive since Oregon was favored by like almost 10.
Yeah, and that was nuts.
And Washington dominated that
game. That was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, that's easy money. Like, what's wrong?
What's
wrong with you? Like,
that was a head scratcher.
Yeah, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what has happened since they last played to make you be like, no, Oregon's like 10 points better?
Well, I tell you what happened. Oregon was smashing people, and Washington was sneaking by people. And I think Penix didn't look healthy the last couple games.
No.
So,
but he still got it done. And
I'm with you on Washington's offense. I think Washington's offense is pretty exciting, pretty explosive. And to be honest with you, all four teams, I mean, it's college football. You're not going to go through the season blowing everybody out every single week. Michigan had games where they looked really ordinary. Texas had games when they looked really ordinary. Washington and Alabama did too. So I think the committee got it right. I hate to say that out loud and publicly and on the internet forever, considering what it did to those Florida State kids, because they're gonna take that forever. And the Orange Bowl doesn't matter, but of course, whatever the result of the Orange Bowl is going to be used to either justify Florida State not getting in, or man, you see, they should have got in. They beat Georgia. So I don't think they're going to beat Georgia.
No, I don't either. I think I can get out of hand in a hurry.
I think that's. I mean, they're playing an angry Georgia team too. I mean, I think Georgia's still wants to prove, hey, we should have got in. So, and they couldn't put both of them in with one loss, not with 3 undefeateds in, and not with Texas. So,
yeah, Texas was holding a big joker. Like, wait a minute, now I got this card, and
well, Texas messed it all up. All they had to do was beat Oklahoma. They did. Because had they done that, then the committee probably wouldn't have put Alabama over Florida State. I do think it came down to one loss. Well, is Florida State really better than Alabama? Speaking of college football, Jaden Daniels, Heisman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please. I don't want to hear about Bo Nix.
It's not going to be Bo. I think he'll finish third. I was surprised Marvin Harrison Jr. got an invite, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's not going
to. I think he's going to be a solid fourth.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Daniels, Penix, Bo Nix, and then Marvin Harrison. So, but Jaden Daniels will be a Heisman Trophy winner, and he won't be the first quarterback picked in the draft. But of course, another Heisman Trophy winner will be the first quarterback pick.
Should be the first pick.
I don't think that you know what's going to happen. The closer we get to the draft, everybody's going to talk about, well, Drake May. And then on April, whatever the date is, 26th, Caleb Williams is going to be selected first. If he's in the draft, he's going to be first. Probably.
Yeah.
He'll be the first quarterback. Now, if the
He'll be
Bears
first
have the number
quarterback.
one
Yeah, it
pick,
depends on who got the pick.
if the Bears have the number one pick, this is interesting. Should they go with Fields or should they let Fields go and go with the new QB?
So there's a couple of things that make this complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So my initial thought is no. You have something there. You just hadn't given him anything, but now, I mean, the line is playing better.
Mm-hmm.
You see what he looks like with Moore at wideout. It's like, so it's there. But look, the business side of it is like, you are still early in the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well reset the clock
Mm-hmm.
with that QB on that rookie contract and build everything else. I mean, the defense is playing decent, especially since they got Sweat from Washington and they locked him up.
Yeah.
You got Johnson who's going to stay. You got the other rookie DBs. Yeah, the defense is playing good. You got money to spend. You got draft capital. You may want to reset that clock on that QB position so you can keep paying everything else. You know, push that paycheck till 5 more years down the line and get the same production. Now, Caleb's not going to run like Fields, but I mean, as far as like being a quarterback, I think Williams is going to be fine. And so you reset your clock and set it up so that hopefully by year 5 you signed him, your team has done some good things, and then Chicago can build their new stadium and all that.
It is the Bears, though. So
yes, it is QB death. Like he doesn't.
It probably is the practical way to go. Is to say, hey, I mean, a lot of people are going to say, hey, Caleb Williams can be just as productive as Justin Fields is right now, anyway. And so if that's what the GM thinks, then you can do it in a heartbeat. And you're like, hey, if I'm gonna get the same thing or even more out of the QB position by this rookie, then I got to do it. I guess that's the thing is if you give up on Justin Fields, like, what are you doing? You trading him?
Oh yeah, you got to trade him, and you'll get something.
But who's going to trade for him?
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot.
You know what? That I was getting ready. My mind was working on that. It's like so.
The Falcons.
You got the Falcons. You got the Giants.
The Giants with the $40 million.
We're not gonna rehash that right now. That'll be a end of the year rant. Raiders.
Raiders, interesting.
Yeah, you got Raiders. But I mean, they're not just gonna give them away for free.
Right.
So when it comes to that, yeah, I don't know who really has the collateral. I mean, he ain't gonna take up the whole like 2-1s or anything like that. But it's probably gonna be a couple seconds.
Yeah, I was about to say you're probably not getting the first, but it probably costs second round. Second and a third.
Unless somebody who pick like I think if he goes to Giants can give up a 1. And that would propel them to at least if that number 1 pick will be later down the line.
Right.
They are the QB away. They are the QB away.
They think
maybe a running back too. Let's see what happens with that this summer. But I mean, those 3 up the top. Yeah, everybody else, I'm not sure if they would pull the trigger on that or not. I mean, there's some teams I can see, Minnesota, but they're not going to trade him in division.
Right. You wouldn't
Um,
think.
yeah, no, that you would, that would be multiple ones for that to
I
happen.
think, like you said, if you're going down the line in the NFC East, the Giants are probably in the market looking.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dable knows that if he keeps Daniel Jones, he's going to be fired in a couple of years.
Yeah.
The North is non-factor, but hey, Jordan Love, we can say something about him in a few. He's growing. He's
Yes, he
growing.
is. He is.
Uh, then you got the South, which I said the Falcons. Carolina's not going to give up on Bryce Young. I think Tampa Bay could be in the market for a QB.
Broken New Orleans.
Exactly. I think any of those teams could be, except for Carolina. And then out west, Seattle could be in the market. I mean, Gino is at the tail end of his career.
Well, that's true, but I don't know if they pulled that trigger.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
then
not their style. That's not
Arizona's not going to do it, and New
Arizona
England.
is probably recommitted to Kyler Murray. I mean, he's actually looked better. Of course, I shouldn't probably talk to you about Arizona right now, but you know,
Hey
it's a
man,
good thing you got that short week and you got the Patriots. I don't
dude.
know. A perfect scenario for a disappointing loss is short week.
No, yeah, but it's gonna be it's gonna be an ugly game, man. I'm
Oh, it
sorry.
will.
Yeah, we're not.
It might be another 6-0.
We're not gonna delve into this Mitch Trubisky mess.
Oh man.
So I'm just trying to figure out how far in the hole are you, Mason Rudolph? Like, did like all the players was like, no, he said this, and yeah, there's no way we're gonna give it laid on the line for him to be. There's no way.
If that's the case, Rob,
After seeing Trubisky play, like, there's
right.
no way you shouldn't have gotten a shot by now.
That's what I'm saying. If that's the case, then you might as well cut Rudolph
Yeah,
because he's never going to play.
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you stuck behind this dude, like,
Right.
what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
Like, man.
But I guess you got to have a backup to the backup. I get it. So he has that role, but
at that point, that can be like anybody.
it can be.
Like, it can be anybody.
Why did you give up Josh Dobbs and
Twice?
keep Mason Rudolph? Yeah. So
yeah.
But that's the way it goes. I know you wanted to say something about conference realignment. I said something to my dad today about the 12-team playoff, which of course next year we'll be debating 12 and 13, which will be ridiculous because we shouldn't.
Yeah,
and
it won't be as important.
And I said that Notre Dame they're probably going to do Notre Dame like they did Alabama this year, and if they're 8-3, they're in. Your thoughts on conference realignment?
Yeah, I just think it's nuts. I mean, what, you have 18 in the Big Ten?
Is it 18 or 20?
No, it's 18. So we got the 10, and then Maryland, Rutgers.
We had the 14.
Yeah, Maryland.
And then USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon. You're probably right. We don't have any more out the defunct Pac-12.
Yeah.
Okay. Washington and Oregon joining the Big Ten based on this year's rankings. That's a monster.
Well, it'll help because, the West, Big Ten West is garbage.
Right. No more divisions. No more
divisions.
Right.
That's right. They went,
but then it's going to be 18 teams, and the top 2 play in Indianapolis at the end of it all. So Michigan's got to play Texas in their non-conference, and they got to play USC, and and of course they got Ohio State. So I don't see how Michigan. I mean, that might be 3 L's.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're gonna beat USC. I think USC. I mean, USC is probably in for a rude awakening. UCLA is probably in for a rude awakening. Oregon, I don't know.
Oh,
Washington, no more Penix.
I think Oregon will be straight.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
they're physical enough.
Yeah, I think Oregon's pretty good.
Yeah.
The thing about it is IU. I mean, at least you had hope. You might beat Rutgers. You might beat Maryland. You might beat Michigan State.
Hey, man.
They got to play Washington next year. They got to play UCLA next year.
Hey, man, they're going to Pasadena.
Exactly. First visit to the Rose Bowl in a while. More like 60 years.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no.
I do think I think we talked about this before. It's just wild that what technology's done for sports. I mean, that's the only thing that the way that this could happen. When we were growing up, this couldn't happen.
Yeah.
It makes no geological sense at all. The Big Ten, the Atlantic Coast Conference really doesn't make sense if they have Stanford and Cal in the ACC. That really,
it says in there Atlantic Coast Conference,
and you got 2 teams from Oakland, basically, Palo Alto and Berkeley.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I think the SEC obviously is going to be its usual beast. And Georgia's schedule, Florida's schedule was the one that was really ridiculous because they got to play everybody, But I don't know. What's the good jobs now? Ohio State's still a good job because I think Ohio State's still going to be 10-1, 11-1, or whatever. I guess Michigan.
I love the whole Ryan Day talk, and it's just like, who are you going to get?
Right.
Who are you going to get? Like, who's going to be like, I'm going to leave where I'm at to go be at Ohio State and make a difference? Like,
I tell you.
I mean, there are some who probably, but it ain't. Will it be better than what you got now?
I don't think so. I think Ryan Day is a pretty good coach. I think that when it comes to Michigan, I mean, maybe Michigan's just been a little bit better. I thought, I'm not going to say young people's names on here in a negative light, but I wasn't enamored with the QB. The QB's in the transfer portal, so I don't think Day was enamored with the QB. You know what I mean? And they just didn't have it at quarterback this year. CJ Stroud.
Quarterback situation is bad, dog. Like the backup wears number 33.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we got Sammy Ball back here. What are we doing?
Unless it's Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar, I don't want to see my backup wearing no 20 number, 30 number, 40 number.
And man, I was just like, wait, that's the backup? It's like,
that's the backup.
This is bad. This is bad.
I guess he's going to start the Cotton Bowl, I guess, against Missouri. I wasn't impressed with him either. I just think I can't believe Ohio State's QB situation was that bad. But remember, Ewers had committed, and then he went, he early graduated.
And
then once he didn't get the job, he went to Texas. So that messed you up. You get this guy, and other people are like, well, I'm not going there. I'm not playing ahead of him. And that's what happens.
That's the thing about the portal now. It really is it's an easy out. You really don't have to earn anything. Somebody's going to be out there willing to give you something.
Literally, that nil money.
I get it, but at the same time, it's not help. It's not going to help long term. It's just bad.
It's
just bad.
Now we sound like old folks.
Yeah, no. But I mean, just serious. Like one of my biggest things about the QB position and drafting is like starts. And the reason why starts is big for me is like chances are if you got like 36 starts, you done had highs and lows and had to deal with them both.
Right.
And you know how to do that. If you got a situation where a quarterback he runs a team for 2 years and he's basically like 21-1 or 23-3, whatever. You really ain't experienced nothing. And then it's not a big deal. Like if your team doesn't win anything, that's going to be my biggest problem with May out of North Carolina is like,
what did you
if
win,
you
kid?
are the leader of the squad, you at some point are going to need to pull some out of the hat. Now they talking about like you one of the next greatest things, but you can't win big games. And I understand that it's other players on the team.
It's a team game, Rob.
Huh?
It's a team game.
I get that. But there are times when if you are the superior player on the field,
you make a difference.
You need to show it and make it happen.
That's my problem with Rattler, man. I mean, I couldn't pull the trigger if I were NFL GM on Rattler.
No, not the baggage from Oklahoma is like, no, there's no way.
But to illustrate your point, though, you can be a quarterback and you can navigate the situation where you never go through adversity. Dylan Gabriel just finished a great season in Oklahoma, and now he's going to transfer, and he's probably going to go somewhere. I mean, I heard Oregon was a possibility. You know what I mean? So it's like you're going to go somewhere and you're going to win 9-10 games. So you're not going to face that adversity that you talk about, the growing pains of learning how to win and as a young player.
Those QBs should be the ones that come with the asterisks on your draft boards. It's like, why? I mean, and I get it now. Things are way different. And by all means, like if you're 20, 21, and you can leave your current school, go somewhere else and get a couple $1 million, by all means.
I know.
By all means.
I mean, this is the thing now. You can get your money sooner. If I'm a parent of a young child and I can groom him to be one of the best 50 quarterbacks in the country, I just made him a millionaire. He's going to go to a school, no matter what. If he never plays, get that 6 figures. And then, like you said, I mean, these guys now, they're getting in the portal for negotiation. It's free agency.
Yeah.
It's college football free agency. It's college basketball. To me, college basketball is even worse. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, because this mug's getting money that's like.
Right. But it's also like, I guess what I don't understand is even with the Ohio State QB situation, you lost one game in your career as a starter. Now, granted, it's the biggest game of your life. How does that guy not come back to Ohio State and try to avenge that L?
So it's the different mindset in the generation. When we were growing up, it was all about atoning for that loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, I can't wait till we play them next year.
Right, you circle it. That's the one.
Now, that really isn't important. And I mean, you can't fault them because like who is it really important to?
Yeah, the fans.
I mean, it's more fan base and whatnot.
And coaching legacy. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, as a player, yeah, it's like, who cares? Let me go over here, especially if I'm gonna get paid. It's like,
That's the thing, man. You're right. 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, by the way, when is this COVID year thing gonna stop? I mean, like dudes are staying
this
in
should be
college 7,
over.
8
It
years.
should be
This is
over. Like, I think this is the last. Well, no, we might have one more class.
I, I hope.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
tired of seeing. I mean, even Penix, we love Penix, but
yeah,
6 years, man. And
yeah,
I know that he had one of them was probably what exemption, medical exemption, whatever, medical
yeah,
redshirt. But
yeah. You know,
6 years, Bo
getting
Nix.
killed behind that IU line.
How does Bo Nix got to start for a Power Five team for 5 seasons,
Oh,
or was it 6?
yeah, I
I think
think
it
it
was
was
5.
6. Yeah, he started as a freshman at
He started as a
Auburn.
freshman.
Yeah,
So did he grad transfer to
yeah, he did.
Oregon?
Yeah, he's done 2 at Oregon.
Uh, I mean, that's just ridiculous. All that's just ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
time for all that stuff to end. I'm ready for the COVID exemption year.
yeah, the COVID exempt. Man, I'm ready for that to be over too. But like the portal and the NIL, the NCAA only has themselves to blame. You basically had 2 years to line up things to get ready for this. As soon as that decision came down in California that they was going to let those schools do it, in 2 years, you had 2 years to hammer it out and be like, all right, y'all, these are going to be the rules within this ruling.
Mm-hmm.
And they messed it up and all hell's broken loose. And
It has. It's been interesting. I I find it fascinating just seeing which schools are finding money because like Lane Kiffin's at Ole Miss. Ole Miss must have some money somewhere. I mean, Lane Kiffin's not going to be there unless they can pay their players. Uh,
yeah,
but then Texas A&M, crazy. Texas
but that's
A&M has 75 million to tell a coach to go away.
hey man, that's
And
oil money though. That's
that
oil
oil
money.
money.
The Texas A&M money is different, man.
I
That's
know, but
different.
they can't buy a win over Saban. You can't buy a win over, you know, the best you're
Hey
gonna do is
man,
10 wins.
did did anybody think Fisher was the answer?
Well, judging by Jimbo's contract, somebody in the Texas A&M administration thought he was the answer. And he
Okay.
did beat, I think, wasn't Jimbo the first assistant, former assistant to beat Nick Saban? I think he broke
Yeah.
the glass ceiling, and
But
then
no,
Kirby. I
did he?
think he was the first, and I think Kirby ended up.
Sure. Because
I think Jimbo broke the
when
glass,
okay.
and then I think Kirby. Of course, obviously, Kirby's first win over
Yeah.
Nick was the national championship. So Kirby was so close that you
Yeah.
almost think it was him, but I think Jimbo was the first. So
Yeah, but
I don't know. Uh,
they ain't worth that money he got though.
no, no. Here's the thing. The truth is, Nikki has put many coaches' careers to bed in the SEC.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
He's
Look at
still
all
cooking with
how
Dolphins.
many coaches have been at Auburn since Nick Saban has been at Alabama.
There's been a gang of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a gang of them. But
I do say this: Hugh Freeze, if Auburn leaves him alone, Auburn's going to be good. I think Hugh Freeze is going to build a winner. He
mm-hmm.
knows how to get players. He was doing it before he could pay.
Yeah.
It was paying
Yeah.
players. So now that they legally can pay players, I'll be fine if they leave him alone.
Yeah. It'll be straight and that'll be good. Well, it's already good. Even if they bad, it was good.
I tell you what, you can't lose as a big time college athlete right now. So
No,
but
it's good.
Let's switch up to the pros. I told you I got to talk about my prediction. My predictions at the beginning of the year. I got to get this on record.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I said on Sunday? Actually, it might have been 2 Sundays ago that you ain't talking about my NFC South leading Atlanta Falcons.
Man,
What's up with that?
I'm sorry, I'm not good at predicting mediocrity. Like, God, please, man, that's just bad. That thing's bad, man. And man, Saints fans getting on Derek Carr is hilarious. You know, you see it on Twitter, and Raider fans are laughing like, "Told you."
Yeah, we told you.
So yeah, man. And then you knew the Carolina thing.
Yeah,
you knew at the beginning it wasn't going to be all that. You ain't know it was going to turn into this
dumpster fire.
This is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get back to that. And then Tampa with Mayfield, that's definitely stopgap for the next QB.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows that. Carolina, man, right? Gone. Not even a year.
11 games.
People in there talking about we didn't want Young, and it was like, well, then who pulled the trigger? Like,
right.
Who pulled the trigger?
I call BS on that. I really do. Because I think Bryce Young was the consensus #1 pick. Now, you know that I was saying CJ.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
For a long time. I was like, badmouth CJ, let him fall to 7.
Yeah.
When I thought the Colts were picking 7. Colts picked 4th. Houston threw the greatest smoke screen alive with, we might not even pick a QB. And then they picked it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Colts say they were going to get Richardson anyway. So I'm going to believe them because that's what they said. But I didn't think Bryce was the slam dunk #1. But I thought that Bryce was the consensus from all the scouts #1 QB. It's just like Tua and Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, Tua was ahead of Justin Herbert after Joe Burrow passed both of them that year.
Yeah.
So I call BS on that they didn't want Bryce Young. I think they did want him. I think they saw the intangibles.
Somebody wanted him, and the coach is gone.
The coach is gone.
So
now what do you do?
Is it GM or is it the owner who made the call and was like, all right, this was wrong or whatever? But yeah, they got a mess.
The owner's off the rails.
Think about this, man. Last year they had an interim coach that went 6-6.
6-6.
And had it going in the right direction. Without trading up to the #1 pick, without, and now you have this.
I know. And the other part of that you want to factor in is Coach Wright brought in this coaching staff that was supposed to be like this all-star coaching staff, and they were paid handsomely. I mean, it's a high-priced coaching staff. But, yes, Carolina never saw that coming. But, that was all a diversion for you not to talk about the Falcons. The Falcons are an interesting team. They're a defensive team. Quarterback is a problem.
So
quarterback's a problem.
Atlanta at the beginning of the year, like when Lamar like free, I had no idea why Atlanta
didn't make a play.
Win all chips. Like,
let's get him.
You got young talent everywhere.
Right.
Young talent everywhere. And it's like you throw him in there with that, and it's like, man, like
I'll tell you what.
Collusion is real, but
collusion's real. But I'm also going to say, I don't trust Arthur Smith at all.
Well,
I think he's like one of those guys that outthinks himself. I mean, Bijan using, Kyle Pitts using. I mean, it's like, come on, guy. This players, not plays. I don't know. So I think Atlanta has enough to finish this thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think Todd Bowles' head coaching job in Tampa is in the balance this weekend. I think if they lose to Atlanta, he's probably out.
Yeah, but I mean, that's that mess, man. It's like, oh no, here, you can have this job.
Yeah.
Let me deal you this garbage hand with no face cards.
Well, I did hear that there was, because this was the salary dump year, that he might get a pass. Because everybody knew they had to cut salary.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's talk about the picks I was wrong about. There's only 2 out of 8 divisions that I was wrong about, but Buffalo's postseason is hanging in the balance this week in Kansas City. You think they get it done?
Implosion, man. This is it. This will be the week that it completely implodes.
So this is when you see Stephon Diggs going off, throwing his helmet, yelling at Josh Allen.
No, we already seen that. Like we've already seen that. Like,
so who
we don't
else
know what's next.
Who is it?
We don't know what's next. Duh. Yeah, he might do an AB and run out the field with no shirt on.
Peace out to the
but
Bills.
Yeah, I think they lose. I think it implodes from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't know where to point the blame. Like, not even point the blame, but like where this started going left. You know, it's like, all right, you got a decent defense.
I can tell you
got
what.
your quarterback.
I'm going to answer your question. I'm glad you asked, sir. Josh Allen was reckless against the Jets, game 1.
Mm-hmm.
There's a loss. You go up to New England, you don't take them seriously. Division opponent, there's a loss. Denver, undisciplined. Get a penalty on a missed field goal. Too many men on the field. You're not even trying to block the field goal. How do you have 12 men on the field where you're not even really attempting to block a field goal? You're hoping the guy misses. And you give a guy a second chance, Denver beat you. That's 3 L's right there. There is something up with that discipline piece that wasn't there before. But I do think Josh Allen takes too many chances. I think that whole gunslinger Brett Favre kind of thing, he gets a pass for. I don't understand. All these media types keep apologizing for this dude. He's having a good season, but he takes too many chances. He throws the ball in spots he's not supposed to, and he gets this team some L's that they shouldn't have. So that's my answer.
Okay. Does the discipline land McDermott's feet?
I think so, but I wouldn't fire McDermott. I mean, I saw those calls and I was like, okay, do you guys remember? Do you remember 2016, 2015, 2014? Like, do you remember pre-McDermott days? It's like, y'all had a step back. This happens to all the teams that build a consistent championship contender. They have a step back year. Now, would I be surprised if Buffalo goes to Kansas City, wins their last 5, has that 11-6 record? I wouldn't be surprised at all, but I don't see it. The other thing about this too is they're playing a pissed off Kansas City team on the road.
Man, but Kansas City's got problems.
They do. And hey, my guy, I mean, Project Pat's my guy. You know, I'm a Project Pat apologist to the end, but he can't keep throwing interceptions.
But he can't throw it to himself either, man. Like,
he can't.
Oh, like,
he got to solve it though. This is the thing. This is what you said. This is what we say about Brady. This is what we say about Manning. This is what we say about Rossberg. Rodgers, when it breeze, it's on you. It's on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so He's got a problem this year with these receivers, but he got to figure it out. But I will say this. Isn't this vindication for Bieniemy?
Yes. Yes, it
Kansas
is.
City's offensive struggles is definitely vindication for Bieniemy.
Yeah. Yeah. So is this Reed?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, so because if Reed
or it might be Nate.
If Reed was calling the plays last year, then this shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
You know? Or did you put Nagy in charge, which
right.
we know what that was going to look like because we've seen that.
Right.
So it's like
Bears fans have seen it.
So it's like, yeah, this is vindication for Bieniemy. It just sucks that he's in a situation where, yeah, he's going to be looking for a job next year too because Chico's gone.
He's gone, man. I know.
Yeah,
and he got to be. He got to be. He got to be. He's had his opportunity. You can't have this team at 4-9.
Well, so to be fair, yeah, when he came in, he was taking on much more than coaching duties.
It was a mess.
Yeah, he was taking on much more than coaching duties.
Right.
But yeah, that's been a few years behind you. And yeah, this was supposed to be a step up, which early, like they were losing, but like they were in games and things. But like, yeah, you trade your starting defensive ends.
You know, that's where they gave it up. I mean, listen, at that point, if you're Ron Rivera, do you consider resigning? I mean, you're giving up on the season when you trade Sweat and Young.
Yeah, like your two starting defensive ends. Like, what?
And defensively, yuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's gotten progressively worse.
Yes, it has. It has. They can't stop anything. They can't stop it. They can't stop anybody. So, my other division I missed was I wasn't a buyer in the Lions. I wasn't a believer, so I went with the Vikings. Of course, they lost Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt. But I'm a believer in the Lions, but the NFC's Niners and Eagles and Cowboys, it's gonna be one of those three.
Well, we'll see Cowboys this week. You haven't beat anybody.
The Cowboys are going to win this week, but the problem is the Cowboys have a much tougher finish to the season than the Eagles because they got to go to Buffalo, they got to go to Miami. So, yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to win this week.
But this is the thing. We see this with the Cowboys. It's like, you're playing great. Everything's good. We got a good game. And then they stink up the joint.
They're not going to stick it up this week. I think they're going to beat the Eagles. I think they'll be in first place. I think there's going to be this talk up, and then they'll stink up.
So
then Philly's going to find a way to win. Philly's going to find a way to go to Seattle and win. They'll beat Arizona. They'll beat the Giants.
Oh, yeah, no. Philly's schedule is cake. I just know that from my fantasy football.
It is. Yeah. So Philly's going to go 4-1. Now, the real question is, does San Francisco beat the Ravens or lose to the Ravens at home? I think that's the only game that San Francisco has a chance to lose.
Yeah.
Coming up. So.
No way, man. They got Seattle left.
Yeah.
My West pick.
Yeah. But I tell you what, your Green Bay pick is looking better and better.
Yeah, it ain't gonna catch it, but yeah. But
let's say this. If they play in the playoffs, would you pick Green Bay or Detroit?
It depends on if Watson is playing. It looked like he pulled a hammy, so that's gonna be lingering.
Mm-hmm.
But like with him and Dobbs coming along, and it's starting to look a little familiar. I mean, I'm not gonna put him out there like that, but like I just had lunch with a Bears fan yesterday, and I was like, "So, what do you think about what Green Bay's doing with Love, and he's like, yeah, I don't like it at all.
Of course, yeah, right. So
But yeah,
I think the Lions are what Goff does. If Goff turns the ball over, they're in trouble.
mm-hmm.
If he does it, if he takes care of the ball, I think they'll be okay. I don't think they have a juggernaut defense by any stretch of the imagination. I think they can be scored on. So
Yeah,
that's that. In the AFC, I told you about them Ravens before the season started. Of course, the Bengals. I don't know whether to be happy about the Bengals this week or sad. I want them to get crushed, but then they beat the Jaguars. So,
dude, yeah, you have no idea what you're about to get. Like, dude, like that quarterback against us looked like, all right, this is going to be.
that's the guy I wanted. That's the guy I was wanting. That's the one I was expecting.
But I don't know who that was that showed up on Monday. Like, hey,
He
man,
looked good.
Yeah,
he looked good. He looked real good. And the thing is, look, Jamar Chase is the beast.
he's 24/7 now. He's open 24/7.
He's 7'11. He's 7'11. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
that was my tweet. I was like, this dude really is 7'11. And he's open when he's not.
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter.
I mean, he spoke the truth. I mean, T. Higgins doesn't look fully healthy to me.
No,
Tyler Boyd, it's not the same, but it's still scary. And I'll tell you one thing, Cincinnati, that the defense doesn't get enough respect, man. They opportunistic,
no,
they take the ball away, and they hit you.
Yeah, they got good corners,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it, extra time for the line to get there. Yeah, so I didn't expect that the other night, but yeah. I saw an opportunity, all the quarterbacks getting hurt, and I'm like, yeah, but then, yeah.
I know, because now you got Bailey Zappi, you got Gardner Minshew, you got Reed Browning. What's his name? Jake Browning. Reed Browning. And then you got Geno, and then you got Lamar to end the season. So you probably thought, especially with Arizona, you thought, oh man,
I was counting on Arizona. It's like, man, we're gonna do like 10 wins, man. And now it's like, man, just can we get to 9?
Are we gonna get after that? Well, that's a good question. Tonight would be 8 if they do it.
Mm-hmm.
You already know. I'm talking crazy. You ain't getting 9 here. I don't care. It's not happening.
I don't even know why you would even have the audacity to do that. You already know what's going to happen. First of all, it's going to be a home game for the Steelers. and we're going to have perfect weather conditions because you don't open up the stadium for nothing. Like,
you're going to have Mitch Trubisky under center.
And it's not going to matter, man. You actives like we're not going to pick off Minshew like 3 times. I mean, don't forget, like, yeah, you still have Uncle Rico as your QB, man. Like, it's all fine and dandy when you don't turn the ball up. Now, granted, you could very well just run the ball down our throat. That's still an issue. That is still an issue.
I'm hoping Jonathan Taylor's back for that one.
Yeah, I mean that's still a possibility, but I mean the defensive line has been playing better. The younger kids, a lot of milk and bitten, they've been playing well. So that hasn't been as bad. Now, granted, we still don't have any linebackers. All the inside linebackers are gone.
Everybody's hurt.
Yeah, no, everybody's gone. So yeah,
I just think Pittsburgh won't score enough points on us, even if Minshew gives you 3. Still looking at 16. We can get to 20. We can get to 20. I don't think it happens here. And then you got the Bengal game. I think that's probably your best chance for win number 9. You got the Bengals at home division. You already beat that guy. I think that's the best. Going to Seattle, that's always a house of horrors.
Yeah, 12s, and we already got our one from Baltimore, so we ain't getting the last one unless they've clinched something and
they don't play anybody. Yeah, that could happen.
About the only thing, but everything's too close. Everything's too close.
Right.
It's not like they're gonna run out and be like 2 games up on everybody going into the last week.
They're not. And they don't have the tiebreakers because like Kansas City, all of Kansas City's losses are against the NFC. So Kansas City's AFC record is like 6-1. So if Kansas City wins out in the AFC, they'll have the tiebreaker. So so Lamar will be playing for something, playing for that 1 seed. So I don't 98's not going to get in.
No. I'm already written off playoffs. We're not gonna make it. I mean, it looks good. We're in the 5 spot, but
I know.
It's like no. I know what that really is. That's not a 5 spot. Like, I mean, I'm not delusional. Like,
well, here's the thing:
for us to have 7 now, it's like
a miracle. Yeah, and it should have been 8.
Yeah,
but
it's like really we had that many wins. Like. The way we played all year, like
no, we've been outgained in 9 of the 12 or 10 of the 12. Might be 11 of the 12.
Yeah, I'm about to say 11. 11 of the 12. That Cincinnati game was the only one. The first game without Canada. Yeah, because we lost out against Arizona. So yeah.
Right. Wow. Well, I think I already told you the AFC South probably had 3 teams. I did have some hope with Trevor going down. I don't root for injuries, but I was like, Trevor's injury got me to thinking, well, let's see. They got to go to Cleveland. That's not friendly. They got Baltimore. It's like all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, now they might slip up the next 2 weeks. But then the flip side of that was Browning looking so good. I'm like, man, how are we going to beat Cincinnati? So, I don't know. I hope the Colts beat Cincinnati. Chiefs probably beat the Bills. Steelers should be. Well, I'm about to let you go because you're about to start that game, right? So,
but look, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm going to watch. I'm going to be in tune.
Only because you're a Steelers fan.
We all know this is going to be a snoozer. This is going to be one of the typical Thursday games. Like oh,
a lot of punts, field position.
This is the Thursday game. Yeah. Blake Zappi. Like
it's Bailey, but yeah.
Well, whatever.
Count your blessings.
I know that.
I can't believe Mac Jones. I mean, I can believe. I never bought into the Mac Jones hype.
Me neither.
Anyway.
Me neither.
But wow, he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done.
Is he as done as Zach Wilson though?
Oh, we're supposed to talk about Zach.
How can you be like, I don't know if I want to play?
Have you seen that offensive line?
I get it, but it ain't like you. It's not like you've done anything to endear anybody to be like.
He said that was absolutely inaccurate. That he didn't want to play. So take that man at his word. We don't believe it, but take that man at his word.
Yeah. All right, man.
You know what? Is that as bad as I see ghosts? I mean,
no.
When Sam Darnold said I see ghosts.
You know what? I don't know. I don't
even want to play is probably worse than.
Yeah, I think that's worse. Because, this is like I'm unwilling to do for this team.
Right.
Like I'm unwilling. I'm the best option for this team to win, and I don't.
Well, okay. Before we go, let's just recap this. Aaron Rodgers is supposed to come in and resurrect your career by showing you how to be professional and really teaching you how to play. Mentorship,
Zach Wilson was going to have a great 2 years under him, be able to take the team going forward. Blows out his Achilles like 2 plays in.
4.
Now Zach Wilson comes in. Zach Wilson plays horribly. Somehow they beat the Bills. They're 1-0. They go through this stretch where they're terrible. Kansas City comes to town. He looks like a rock star. They still lose to Kansas City. They go to Denver, where they had talked all this stuff about Nathaniel Hackett. Peyton did. They somehow beat Denver. And now people are thinking, wait a minute, they can be a playoff team, even with Zach Wilson. Then Zach Wilson plays so bad that they get this dude that was horrible in college. His college stats were terrible. No offense. You know how people say that. No offense.
He's old practice dude in Green Bay, man. That's Hackett's guy. That's Hackett's guy. He was in Green Bay with them.
How was this dude in the league? So then they act shocked that didn't work. So then they cut him, sign ripping off the practice squad, and then you have to beg a guy to come back. Robert Saleh, man. Do you want this job?
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, I think he wants the job because he thinks with Rodgers he'll win.
Yes, but I mean,
now Rodgers is 40 with the repaired Achilles.
Yeah, they're bad. It's bad, but like I laughed at the whole thing. Like Rodgers was supposed to mentor. Like he doesn't know how to do that, man.
Mm-mm.
He didn't get it from Favre, and didn't give it to Love. Love basically had to figure it out like he did. So yeah, I laughed at that one. I was like, at first I was like, yeah, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. If anything, he would have played long enough so the kid could sit there and watch, and then maybe he could pick up something. It's like, but that wasn't gonna happen. It's like, but yeah, that situation is bad. But it's great because their defense was straight. But it seemed like they've given up. Like,
oh man, you can only hold that for so long before.
But yeah, there's that, and then like because trust me, as a Steelers fan, now there's some seasons where like we lost all hope in the offense, and then this at the end of the year it showed. Just like you know what, it is what it is. Like we're playing, but we ain't playing. We're just here. You just play out the string. It's not getting better on the other side, and no one's being held accountable over there, and it's just a bad thing. Toxic locker room when you got defense pitted against offense and vice versa. Yep. But it's usually defense versus offense. Like I really don't hear about offenses being mad because the defense is bad or whatever when they're clicking.
Right.
But yeah, I mean defense don't even ask for much. It's like, man, just get a couple first downs, man. Can we get a break?
I know, that's crazy. It's not like Tampa and Baltimore Ravens when they said, hey, Tampa Bay literally said, give us 17 and it's over.
Yeah.
And the Ravens basically was like, give us 10. just get me to double figures, baby. It's over.
But yeah, man, that's crazy. There's a lot of toxic situations in the league, man. And that Black Monday for coaches is going to be interesting.
Ugly.
It's going to be interesting to see the heads that roll and be like,
are we going to get to the 7 to 10 that Schefter was talking about, you think? I guess if you count the Raiders and the Panthers, you only need 5 more.
That's 2 head start. You need 5 more. That's 1, 2. No, I'm going to say no. Like, how many years in a row will that be? It's like you can't keep recycling coaches like that.
Mhm.
Well, even just as a team in general, and expect anything good to happen from it. Like, I understand, like, we're Steelers fan, we're a little different. We let our coaches have growing pains and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I would think, like, you can expect a roster overhaul, system, and attitude implementation that happened in like 3 years. I mean, you're basically spending the first year getting rid of everything to build up draft capital for the next 4 or 5.
Mhm.
And if you cut it short at 3 because you don't like the progress, it's like that's not going to work.
Exactly.
That's not going to work. But I mean, every year we get about that 5 or 6. So
Mhm.
we'll probably get 5.
So you're saying 3 more?
I can't pinpoint the other 3. I know Chico. Chico's gone, unfortunately. I don't know if the Bears pull the trigger on pull the plug on Eberflus.
You know, I think the Bears are going to play better, and they might play well enough to save his job.
Yeah, but he's not the GM's guy.
But that's the other thing. You just said it. Complete rebuild, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna start over, I'm gonna start over with the head coach and the GM. I mean, the head coach and the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, because
so let's say Flus. Let's count Flus.
All right.
So we got Commanders
4.
and the Bears.
Um,
One coach in the NFC South at least will be gone. It probably will be Dennis Allen because the Saints should have won this division by 3.
Yeah, but then you still may lose bowls too.
Right.
Yeah, you.
So this is becoming a spades hand. We had 3 in a possible, 4 in a possible.
Yeah, so Bowles probably lose his job just because there'll be a name on the market that they feel is a sexier name.
Mm-hmm. And Dennis Allen will be good.
Yeah.
If the Saints don't win the division. So basically, if my prediction comes true and the Falcons win the South,
yeah,
Tampa Bay, yeah, the other 3 teams are going to have new coaches.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I don't think anybody in the West. I mean, it would only be if McVay decided to hang it up. I think Pete Carroll's still kicking.
Yeah.
In the AFC, I don't really see Salah. I don't think that's gonna happen. AFC.
Yeah, I thought that, but then I'm like, nah. He's not
AFC South, they seem to be committed to Vrabel.
Well, I gave him a new quarterback, so you got to start that process over.
Mm-hmm. And then Denver Chargers.
Yeah,
that's a no-brainer. Chargers.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Yeah.
He got to go.
I think we might get to 7.
Yeah, just the decision making.
I think we might get to 7. We just named. We might get to 7. I think the Chargers for sure in the AFC.
Yeah.
The NFC, look at that total overhaul. Like I said,
you can't have that much talent in.
No.
He's basically got nothing to show for it. You got one big blown playoff lead.
Right. And you got a $250 million quarterback. But that's another show. Let's go ahead and let's get out of here on that note. But I got one more thing for you. Kenny Pickett, yay or nay?
No.
Okay.
That was no on draft day. No.
Okay,
I was no on draft day.
Do you think they start over? You think they look?
No, he'll be there. He's going to be there.
Okay.
He's going to write it out. Something would have to fall in our lap. The Steelers don't move like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't move.
You didn't name them for the Justin Fields sweepstakes.
We don't do that either. I'm sorry. Oh, I would love it. But we don't do that either. We don't really trade for high profile.
Mhm. Well,
We just don't. I mean, we gotta wait till they get older and gray, and then pick them up in free agency. Patrick Peterson, you know. But yeah, I would love it, but no, it's not going to happen. So the my best case scenario is they end up taking a QB late,
mhm.
and he ends up working.
There you go.
And I'm talking about like a legit QB, not Devlin Hodges. Not that.
Yeah. All right,
So
man. I got the dog barking, so I better get out of here. So, and you got a game to watch. So, till next time, I'm Reg.
I'm Rob.
That was the show.